Say something, okay. Something. It said to say something, so I put something. A little bit different sponsor today. We've got Sam Adams Boston Lager. All right. If you guys can hear me, let me know. If not, let me know. This is, as the title suggests, Borodino, 7th of September, 1812, Utitza. Don't mind the red and the British flags. These are, in fact, Russian troops. And I will be using the Russian stats accordingly. How you guys doing? Background: the village of Utitza was at the southern end of the Russian left flank positions at Borodino. The Utitza woods, however, were very dense, well suited for Tuchkov's Russian Yagers that were deployed there in some numbers. All total, Tuchkov had some 23,000 troops, but many were untrained. Opolchnya, or militia, Poniatowski had about 10,000 trained Polish soldiers very eager to fight. The first attempt by the Poles did capture Utitza, but Tuchkov's Grenadier Division and the 3rd Infantry Division advanced and ejected the Polish forces in short order. General Junot then joined the attack and again captured Utitza, but as the Russians departed, the village was set on fire and no longer could be defended. Now, I will add that this will not be lit on fire. It's paper. It'll go fast. So, von Holdinghausen, how are you, sir? Thank you for joining. The village was set on fire, as I said. After this, the Russians and Poles roasted marshmallows and weenies. No, the Russians and Poles continued to skirmish for the rest of the day without much progress. And, of course, the stage is set, the battle lines are drawn, and you are in command. Can you change history? And yes, I guarantee I will. I always do. Because I don't play properly. I make mistakes. Therefore, history will be changed, whether voluntarily or involuntarily. All right, von Holdinghausen, make yourself comfortable, and I'll do my best. I don't know if I've showcased the paper building jet and the roads. This is rolled up corkboard that I got at Michael's and just cut it accordingly. Now, the wheat field that you can't see off camera will have no effect, as will the stream here, no effect. Just for show. The woods, the village, and the hills will all have an effect on the game. So for the troops, the French troops, what do we have? We have a line. Let's do it this way. My pointer stick. We have a line unit here in the woods, a line unit here in the woods, and a line unit here in the woods. The French have one light cavalry unit here, another line unit, another line unit with a leader by the name of Kamenetsky, something to that effect. Light infantry. Now, what I've done with the basing with the light infantry is instead of 2 bases, I've only used 1, and that helps for the bases that I need to represent line. Then we have foot artillery, another light infantry unit, a line unit, and another light cavalry unit. We also have a leader here. Well, I already said that. A leader here, and a leader here. So 3 leaders. Now for the Russians, we have a light infantry unit here, a light infantry unit here, as well as a light infantry unit in the village of Utitza. And then we have Grenadier, which is a formidable line, militia, line, 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 and line, foot artillery, line, light, and 2 Cossack units here. That is the setup, and now we can begin. Let's see, 7 victory banners is what we need for a victory. So it's a little bit longer than the average game. Then we have the 5 command cards for the French and 5 command cards for the Russians. So relatively equal, balanced sides going at it here. And it looks like the French do go first. So that said, let's start. French cards here. If the music is annoying or too loud, let me know. If you can't hear it, that's fine as well. Hello, John. How are you, sir? Welcome aboard. Permission to board granted. All right, so we have a recon and force, which I will probably use, but we also have a Le Grand maneuver. First strike, counterattack, and bombard. Again, if my vocalizations are too low or too high, let me know. I can adjust accordingly with the new mic. All right, recon and force is what we're going to use. That's 1 on the left, 1 in the center, 1 on the right. And the lines of demarcation here start like this. That's the boundary for the left, and that completes the left flank, but begins the center, end of the center, beginning of the right flank, according to the French, and the end of the right flank. That is our boundaries. War and Peace from 2016 is the soundtrack in the background. Recon and force, here we go. 1 on the left, 1 in the center, and 1 on the right. I'll pull these guys up. 1 in the center. And these fellers. 1 on the right. These guys here. All the way to the right. All right, so let's refresh our memory here. Line units can move 1, so boom, there's your 1. I expect trees to fall over because that's what happens. Then we have, this is also, yes, line unit. They will move. Let's put them towards the village and start laying down fire there. Now he is within range. I don't know if it's worth taking a shot there. I mean, what's it going to hurt? Line moving half a die per block rounded up. That's 4, so 2. And then firing into a village. Where's that at? There we go. Infantry into negative. It would be a -2 die penalty, so I wouldn't have anything there. So moving and firing into a village is pointless. Then we have these guys on the right, moving up 1. Let's see if we can head into the woods and go from there. All right, that is the opening. That brings us to, let's see, discard, draw a new card. That brings us to the Russians, who are being played by the British, acting in as stunt double for the Russians. I've done this before. Russians have attack left flank, attack right flank, attack center, assault right flank, and flank attack. And the Russians opt for flank attack, which means 2 on the left and 2 on the right. So we'll go with these guys, actually. These 2 here. And for the right, let's bring the Cossacks up to create some havoc here. What's the movement on them? Cossacks. It looks like they can move from 1 to 3, so let's pull them up 3. 1, 2, 3. That should put them in place for a charge on the next turn. 1, 2, 3, yeah. You know, these guys will have to go through the woods, possibly. That. Russians with no artillery, sacrilege. No, the Russians have not very much. Actually, did I miss that when I was announcing? They do have foot artillery there. Yeah, just one small battery of foot artillery here. Sorry, I may have forgotten to mention that. I'm familiar with Epic History TV, actually. Yeah, I enjoy that. Yeah, so I finally got a microphone. Is it benefiting me? Can you hear me? Any complaints there? And then these guys are grenadiers. What do they have? They have a movement of 1, so slow to go at start, but they'll pick up steam. They'll generate steam heat. Right there. There is a victory banner for taking the village, but not sure it's worth it because as the Russians hold it, it'll be a slaughter fest to try and take it. I'd rather just knock out Russians not in the village. All right, so that's the Russian turn. Back to the French. French have 1 up the center, which is a scout center. And this Legrand maneuver, issue an order to 4 or fewer units or leaders. Ordered units or leaders may make a strategic move up to 4 hexes. Ordered units may not battle. Let's do that. Let's do a Legrand maneuver. 4 or fewer units or leaders. That would be these 2 in the woods. And let's bring the artillery up. So it says 4 or fewer units or leaders. Wow, I've never seen artillery move that fast, that far, but that's what it says. It says unit or leader, and an artillery unit is a unit. 1, 2, 3. Let's put them up right against the town there. Town, the village, whatever you want to call it. I feel weird moving them this far, but it is a strategic move. Put them right here. Now, we cannot battle after movement, so they just have to be content with relocating and calling it a day for this turn. 4 hexes. Wow. 1, 2, 3. We can take the town, the hill, which will irritate the Russians because that's where they were heading. Hill taken. Advantage. French line unit. And it was only 3, but moving 4 puts me right in the hex. 1, 2, 3. There's that. So it's a major movement accomplished by 4 French units via Legrand maneuver. Back to the, if I say British, I mean Russians. Back to the Russians. Again, a lot of directional cards. Probe center, which means 2 down the middle. Attack left flank, which means 3 on the left. Attack right flank, or 3 on the right. Attack center, 3 down the center, or assault right flank. I guess it's silly to ignore that. So let's head for attack right flank. That would be the Russian right flank. That allows 3 units to move and or fight. These 2 light Jager units are going to fire. And this Grenadier unit is going to fire. Let's see. I can fire up to 2 hexes. So that will be that. Let's see. Fire. 1 die per block plus 1 die. So that'll be 4 dice. All right, here's our first volley of the game. That guy there firing uphill. I don't know if there's a penalty there or not. Let's see. Uphill. Infantry. Yes, there is. It's going to be -1 dice. So 3 dice. What do we get? We got a flag, which is ignored because that unit has a leader. And that's it. So nothing there. What else? This Yager unit firing not uphill. Same deal. 4 dice. No penalty because there's no hill. Ranged combat. Let me take that. Let me check something here. Yep, it has to be melee, so that allows battle back. A unit attacking an adjacent enemy unit instead of be engaging an enemy unit in melee, and may not use ranged combat. So it's melee. Russians first, and for melee on a light, it's just 1 die per block, so that's 3 dice. That gives us 2 hits. That 4 becomes a 2. They get the battle back. And what do they roll? They roll a flag, which can be ignored because they have support. And 1 hit. So this 3 becomes a 2. All right. And the Grenadiers are going to fire. They have 1 die per block, which is simply 4 dice. And we've got 2 hits and a flag. The flag can be ignored, but the 2 hits cannot. Russians have their first victory banner. That didn't take long. Yeah, Mother Russia. We have 5-year plan. We have shoes for everyone. Same size shoe, but shoes for everyone. Once again, this episode is sponsored by Samuel Adams Boston Lager. Not Guinness. That's the end of the Russian turn. With their earned victory banner. With volley fire from the Grenadiers. Nice shooting, Tex. Back to the French. The French say they want to counterattack, so no, we don't. Let's do probe center. That means 2 down the center, i.e. these 2 artillery units bombarding the village. Let's see what kind of effect that has. Just some nice clean artillery fun for the whole family. All right, so 2 heading into the village. Let's check fire for the French. Foot artillery, 1 hex away means 4 dice. 4 dices. What's the penalty again for -2 for the village, right? So actually only 2 dice. We get 2 hits. Really? We do not. Those are 6s. Those are not hits. Those are sabers. You know what? The melee thing. No, they can't melee though. So I'm adjacent to an enemy and I'm not supposed to be using ranged fire, I remembered. Cannot see chart below. Let's see, number of blocks, melee. Okay, so it's 1 less die. So instead of 2 dice, it's 1 die. I should have hung back with these artillery units so I'm not adjacent. I got a little overzealous there. 2 dice, that's, again, I keep rolling sabers. So actually, the 2 sabers I rolled, let's just do it this way. I'm reducing them to 1 because I know I rolled sabers on the previous and I know I rolled sabers on this. and they do get to battle back. They being that light infantry unit who melee with 1 die per block. That means 3 dice. And they get 2 hits, so this artillery unit becomes a 1. But nothing by way of victory banner there. Yes, there is, because a 4 is an artillery, so that also counts. All right. Russians now have their second victory banner because the French foolishly moved up with the artillery for ranged combat, which can't happen adjacent. I needed to hang back and went and got my full head shot off by some Russian Jagers. The Russians now have their second victory banner. You need 7 to win, so that leaves 5. The current score is 2-0. Sound is way better than before. That is good to hear. I'd be somewhat scared of the Russians at this point. What advantages do the French have? Leadership advantages the French have is, advantages the French used to have would be a leg up on the artillery, but they just lost that leg. So now the artillery is balanced out. I would say the French have no advantages at this point. Perhaps a little bit along the lines of strength, overall strength, unit strength, but positionally, I think the Russians got it. Oh, well. We'll see what happens. That was the idiot French turn. 2, 3, 4, 5. Discard and read up. Back to the Russians. Who can probe left flank? Don't know that I want to do that. Attack center. 3. Probe center. Let's see, where's that at? Attack. Well, it's attack center. That means 3 units in the center can move. Let's pull these line units up back here as best we can. 1, 2, those 3 units. Those being this guy, Portuguese standing in for the Russians. This guy, and his paper strength counter. And this guy. With his paper strength counter. So there's my 3. Blazing a path down the center. That's the Russians. Back to the French. Bayonet charge, bombard, counterattack, scout center, and first strike. Let's counterattack. That means we reflect the same order the Russians just made, which is 3 up the center. Let's move this guy. That's 1. Two. And got a light unit. What is light units? One in fight or 2 enough? I want 2. Let's put him right here. All right. There's the French. Draw a new card. Back to the Russians, who are in the lead, 2-0. Let's see, cavalry charge. Yeah, why not? We've got some Cossack units over here. They're going to battle with 1 additional die if I do that. Why not? Let's do it. So, rules refresher on making a square. All right, so I get to draw a random card from the French hand and place it to represent the cost for forming a square. It's the first strike card. Square number 1 comes here. These guys, Cossacks, come around. And see what kind of havoc they can create here on a square. Well, probably not much. And these guys, because I believe it's... Is it not in a movement allowance of 3 for light? Yes, it is. All right, so we're in square. Then what happens? The infantry unit battles first with 1 die. All right, so let's do that. He got a flag, but I think they have support. Let's see. Is it a bounce flag? Cavalry can never ignore bounce flag result from an infantry unit in square regardless of how. So what, he bounced? Is that what you're telling me? Yep. He bounced. So how far does he bounce? All right, so one Cossack unit bounced, which means essentially he was effectively repelled by this line unit in square, but he's going to get lit up by this other Cossack unit on his flank there. 2 dice. Yeah, let's see what they can do. And that is 2 hits, so where is his... Oh, that 4 becomes a 2. Sorry about the speed bump there, but I had to get all that ironed out. All right, so what happened? 2 Cossacks attempted to attack this line unit to form square, caused 1 Cossack unit to bounce. Couldn't do anything to the other Cossack unit, which inflicted 2 points worth of damage. So that's what happened. And that was the Russian cavalry charge. Back to the French. Check the comments. Get out your cotton balls, big flamers. French should technically be Poles under Poniatowski. Poles are the equals, or sometimes better than French. But the battle was pretty much a draw. All right, made it for a change. Conflict Magazine, welcome, sir. Good to see you, buddy. 1, 2, 3, 4. I need a new card. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, back to the French. I just messed up. So I only supposed to have 4 cards because one of my units is in square. All right, we're good now. I have a Bayonet Charge, Fire and Hold. I think that could be good. Let's do this Fire and Hold order. Issue an order to 4 or fewer infantry and or artillery. Will perform ranged combat with 1 additional die. Tell me I have some guys that can do this. Yes, I have this guy that can do this. I have this unit that can do this. This unit can do so. And my fourth unit that can, that's it. All right. Well, 3 is better than none. So 3 guys are... All right, so this line unit here will be firing at this light unit here. Now that goes first before I decide what else I want to do. That's 4 dice, straight up. No modifiers. We've got a hit and a flag. Flag can be ignored. The hit cannot. Well, that's 3 becomes a 2. Which brings us to this unit. I think they're out of their firing arc. So they will need to... You know what? So is that. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm heading this way. So I'm going to reorient these guys to reflect firing at a unit within its arc. Here, and again, 4 dice. Heading into that poor Yager unit, and we got, well, it's a shame we're not in melee, because I would have lit him up. Another flag and another hit. That 2 becomes a 1. The Russians holding strong, man. And then we go to this light unit here. And firing 1 die per block plus 1 die is 5 dice, but firing into this village is a -2, is it not? Which becomes 3 dice. You check my math. French have their first victory banner. They just knocked out the light infantry unit in the village. Did they not? Yes, they did. Even with the paper strength. If you don't know what paper strength is, or the pre-battle Mother Russia rule, I encourage you to look at the rules online, because those are in effect, in full effect, for this scenario. So French get a victory banner. It is now Russians 2, French 1. 1, 2, 3, 4 cards still. Show that. Back to the Russians. 2, 3, 4, 5. Cossacks tended to fight similar to the Apache or Sioux, kind of doing their own formational things. Yeah, I totally agree with that. That's a good analogy, John. Which is why their formations ripped apart the retreating French, but not so great in a pitched battle. You are correct, exactly. President accounted for, I was just thinking today when you might get around to starting Napoleon at Chattanooga. Yeah, don't give me any ideas there. I don't need any help with that stuff. I'll end up doing that. Always mixing and matching here. In fact, at the end of this game, I have something to potentially share with you that is going to hit this table at some point. All right. That was the French. So now back to the Russians. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's probe center, and there's a reason for that. That allows 2 units to move up. Maybe I can retake this village. So there's 1 unit with paper strength. And this should also be a line unit. It is a militia unit. Well, nothing different there. They're going to move 1 as well. All right, that's the Russians. Now the French, with their handicapped card hand, because these guys, remember, are in square. So instead of 5 cards, we're down to 4, which is a drag, but hey, it's only 2-1. 7 victory banners to win. The Russians are up 2-1. All right, Scout Center. Ooh, look at this. Oh, this is a hell of a card here. Forward. Forward means 2 on the left, 2 on the center, and 2 on the right. 6, count them, 6 units can do things and stuff. So let's make that unit do a thing and stuff. This unit do a thing and stuff. That's 2. And it can be anywhere, no restrictions. No, I'm sorry, it's 2 in each section, so that is incorrect, sir. So 1 there. 1 here. Let's move them up. Those guys. These guys. You know, if I move, I can move these guys into the town. That would be sweet. Village, the town. 2, 2, and then 2. And the cat's letting me know that it's dinner time, so I'm going to have to run to the kitchen and feed her, because if I feed her incorrectly in the wrong times, I get puke puddles all over the house. Yeah, it's having a cat's great. Actually, it is great. Let's pull this light cavalry unit up and see if we can give these Cossacks a run for their money. All right, be right back. 30 seconds. Okay, so where do we begin? Let's start from left to right. Move these guys up 1. That would be done. These guys are going to melee against that guy. Here comes another potential victory banner right about now. Something, anything? Yes, there is a victory banner. He's gone, but he gets to battle back. So that will be 1 die because he only had strength of 1. Second victory banner. What does he get? Anything? Really? He actually pulled a hit off before he got destroyed. All right, that drops from a 4 to a 3. He's done. That's the 2 on the left. 2 in the center. This line unit's going to continue to move in a forward motion in an attempt to inflict casualties upon the mortal enemies, the Russians. What did the Russians do to the French again? They weren't abiding by the blockade thing that Napoleon had set up to irritate the English. Is that it? I don't know. And then these guys are going to move into this French light infantry unit is now in the village. That counts as a victory banner if I can hold it till the end. Let's say like I have 6 victory banners, and then these guys are in the town. That would count as 7. So that's good news there. And then this light infantry, no line. So move him up 1. And that brings us to the light cavalry, which is going to run headlong into the Cossacks. Let's see how that plays out. Score is now pieces all over the place. 2 to 2, right? Is that what I said? 2 to 2. So each side needs 5 more victory banners. 1, 2. And if I can at least push them back, that would allow me to get this unit out of square. I can get a card back for not being in a square. It would be a sweet, beautiful thing. But we need a little dice luck here. So 4 dice. What do we get? We got 1 hit for sure, 2 hits. Guess what? The French have their next victory banner. It is now the French 3, the Russians 2. But, of course, the Russian Cossack unit here gets to battle back. With 2 dice. And they did get 2 hits, so they cut the French light infantry in half, but not before they were destroyed themselves. Again, the score now is French 3, Russians 2. And it was the Russians that had pulled out in the lead with 2 victory banners to none. But the French have since surpassed that. And I get to get out a square. Thank you very much. That was the forward, right? Forward in order 1, 2, 3, 4. One more card back to the Russians. David Ferris did that. He actually did Napoleon at Chattanooga. Seriously, I'm totally shocked your cat isn't on the table. You know what? Cat has been on the table, but she knows I don't like her up here. She knows I don't like her up here because I use compressed air, which I just used on the table here. Good job. And she hates it. She's terrified of it. And so if she gets up here, she gets the compressed air. So that doesn't happen often. Plus, the table is fairly high. So I'm 6'4", and a normal table would be not where it's at. So this is actually very high. And it's kind of a drag for her, I guess, to want to hop up here repeatedly. But she's pretty good about it. So, yeah, I don't have to worry too much about that. All right, back to the Russians. They got a blowout assault center card here. Why not? Let's blow it out. Assault center. Order a number of units equal to the amount of cards in your hand. And I will gladly do so. Thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5 units. Excuse me. In the center. Say it with me. Center. That will activate 3, 4. Wow, geez. Okay, 5. That's a healthy amount of units there doing stuff. Go first. Is the camera moving? Okay. All right. Let's start it off. 1, 2, 3. They're too far to fire at, but if I move, they will not be too far to fire at. So let's move there. That's 1 down, 4 to go. Wow, I think these are militia. Yeah, militia units. It's cannon fodder, literally. That's 2. 1, 2. Now, all these units here can fire into the town. Now, they don't have line of sight, so that's not true. These guys do. Let's roll with these guys next. And this would be a line unit, strength of 3, firing into the town, which becomes just, you know what? That's useless. Let's move here and have proper melee combat. That's what you're going to have to do to get these guys out of a village instead of firing into it. That was a line unit, and line unit moving. Let's see, range fire and 1 die per block. So now we get to fire. Well, it's still 1 die. Either way, let's roll it and see. Did get a flag, but they have support, so that's ignored. And they get to battle back with 4 freaking dice. Two flags and 2 hits. Jesus, so that becomes a 1. 1 flag can be ignored, and the additional flag cannot. So that was useless for them to do. after all. Where are we at now? We have these 2 units here. Let's move 1 into this part of the village. And it's the side that controls the majority. There's 3 village hexes. The side that controls the majority of village hexes will get a victory banner. It's even right now at this point. So where's his here we go. Strength of 3 with a leader in there. It's kind of cramped right now, and the paper strength. Essentially that leaves this guy with nothing to do because he couldn't fire in there, and now he can't move there. So he's just gonna have to wait. And was there anything accomplished there? No. That turn worked out better for the French than it did for the Russians. 1, 2, 3, 4. Draw a new card. Back to the French. The Duchy of Warsaw was a thorn in their side. Oh, and the Tsar wouldn't offer up. Yeah, that was true as well. The Tsar wouldn't offer up one of his daughters as Napoleon's wife. Yeah, I think Napoleon took some things personally that he probably shouldn't have. You can hiss at your cat and get him to do it. Mine just looks at me like I'm retarded if I hiss at it. She knows I'm a human, so she doesn't understand why I would hiss. Just like when you use a laser pointer on your cat, mine goes straight to my hand, and she's like, I know what you're doing here. She doesn't even look at the laser. She just watches my hand. All right, so Frenchies. Fire. Yeah, well, what do I want to do first? First strike, bayonet charge. Scout center. Bombard. Assault left flank. Line unit. I guess we'll do that. Assault left flank, which allows. Do I have 5 on the left? Yeah, 1, 2, 3. 4. I have exactly. No, this guy doesn't. He's not on the left. He's in the center. So that would be 4 units I can work with. All right, good enough. Let's do it. Let's move this line unit up here. I sense another French victory banner on the horizon here this turn. And line infantry, range fire. 1 die per block, plus 1 die versus infantry, so that's 5 dice. Okay, so this unit here will go first. They roll 5 dice because French line infantry gets a bonus in melee. I think I've been forgetting to do that, but don't tell anyone. How about 3 flags and a hit? So the 2 drops to a 1. They can't ignore. They can ignore 2 of the flags. They can't ignore 3 of them, and he can't retreat. He can't pull back. He can go laterally, but it doesn't count as retreat. So that final flag, since it can't be satisfied with a retreat, has to be satisfied with a hit, and thus we get another French victory banner. That is now 4 for the French, with Russians having 2 victory banners. Now, as far as, let me check one other thing here. Advancing after combat. Is that mandatory or optional? Range combat, weapons rangers. I should know this. casualty retreats, pulls morale, leaders retreat. Leader escape. After taking ground. When an order infantry attacks melee, may advance into the vacated hex. So it's not mandatory. Do I want to do that? No. I think that's not a good idea. These guys are going to fire with 3 dice. And we get 1 hit and a flag. 1 flag can be ignored, but the hit cannot. That 4 drops to a 3. What else? 1, 2. These guys will do likewise, except this time they get 4 dice firing at the Grenadiers. Russian Grenadiers. What do they get? They get 2 hits. And that's it. 2 hits. So this 3 drops to a 1. Another French victory banner on the horizon. Probably next turn. Move the light cavalry up. Up where? Let's go around the flank. 1, 2, 3. Brings them here. I think the French had to come from behind victory last time, or was it the British? Somebody had to come from behind victory. That's the French turn, right? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Discard this. Draw a new card. Back to the Russians. What do the Russians feel like doing? Do they want to attack the left flank? Do they want to probe the left flank? Or assault the right flank? Assaulting the right flank would only allow 2 units to benefit. Or attack the center. I think attacking the center would be pertinent at this point, considering the congestion of Russian units congregating, coagulating there. How do you not, right? So that is this line or militia? Militia Etheridge. This is line. Suits me fine. So let's mark them. 1, 2, 3, right? So it'll be 1, 2, 1, 2. I'm pulling them back up. No, I'm not. They're only a strength of 1. They'll get lost on a battle back. Can I? Yes. Pull them up. All right, so the Russian line unit, 1 die per block at a strength of 3 is 3 dice. Trying to knock out this 4-strength French light infantry division that has just moved into the village. Ooh, they do get a hit on that 1 die strength melee attack. That 4 drops to a 3. But the rules dictate that French light infantry unit can battle back, which is what they'll do. And they get, you see what happens? You see 2 hits, so that 3 drops to a 1. Another potential French victory banner on the horizon. You know what? I'm not even messing with that anymore. I'm going to fire with these guys into the flank of these guys. So that's 4 dice with, I think this is, it might be militia. It is, really, it's a grenadier unit. All right. Grenadier units firing is no bonus, just 1 die per block, and that's 4 blocks. So 2 hits and a flag. 1 flag can be ignored. This 4 drops to a 2. So they've cut this French line unit in half strength-wise. So that was a good move. These guys are in range, so they will move up to place themselves within range on the next turn. Russian turn over. Back to the French. Get a drink. I can attack the right flank. I can scout center Nothing that lets me do anything over here, though. Mission order 4 units may move 2 hexes and still battle. Actually, I take that back. I have a bayonet charge that I'm going to use. Here's how this works. I can issue an order to 4 or fewer infantry units. And with doing so, I can move up to 2 hexes and still battle in melee. So that's going to be some heavy weighted action going down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at this. This is nuts. All right. So here we go. This guy. And remember, on these melee attacks, the Russians get to battle back. So there's 4. The line unit. Melee 1 die per block plus 1 die versus infantry. So that strength of 4 becomes a strength of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Against a 4-strength Russian grenadier unit, we get 1 hit out of all that. Really? And 1 flag, which can be ignored. That 4 becomes a 3. That was terrible. Russians battle back with 4 dice. What do they get? Got a flag, which cannot be ignored. And that's it. So they have to move back. So that accomplished nothing. I did get a hit, right? All right, so these guys. Let's do the same thing, but this time we're going to move in and melee against this guy with a strength of 1. Cue the French victory banner music, because we're about to make that happen. 3 dice. Come on, something. 1 hit out of 3 dice. Got to be something, right? And line unit gets +1, so that's actually 4 dice. See, I almost forgot again. Did get a hit. Cue the music. French victory banner. There's now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 French victory banners to 2 Russian victory banners. And again, this thing started out with 2 Russian banners to none. And things just aren't going well for the Russians. So these guys are going to melee attack, but they have to fight uphill. So there's a penalty for that. Let's see what happens. 2 dice going uphill. I think it's just -1. Yeah, -1. So it's actually 1 die +1 because it's a French line. So it is just 2 dice. And they get nada. No flags, no nothing for you. Russians battle back with 4 dice. Who is this? This is a militia unit. Russian militia. Anything funky with them going on? No saber hits except versus lone leaders. So 6s don't count for militia units. We need 1s or 2s. They did get 2 2s. So what do you know? The Russians battle back and knock out a French line unit. That militia unit did itself proud there, knocking out a French line unit. How about that? Who'd have thunk it? Score now is French 4, French 5, Russians 3. Russians with big battle back, knocking out a French line unit. Not happy about that, actually. 1, 2, 3. Did I not do anything with these guys? I have them marked. But I don't think I did anything with them. They can move up to what? 2 hexes? In battle on this card? Yes, 2 hexes in battle. Fair enough. Let's move here, though. I'm not putting myself adjacent to 2 Russian infantry units, only 1. And, all right, here's a full-strength line unit against a full-strength militia unit. That's 4, 5 dice, -1 for the hill, makes 4 again, and Got a flag that can be ignored in 2 hits. Drops the 4 to a 2. They will roll and not be able to hit on 6s. They did get us 2 6s, but those don't count because they're a militia unit. Yep. Too bad, so sad. And that's that. So that's the French turn. Was a bayonet charge. Back to the Russians. With a measly weak scout center card, a leadership card. Attack left flank. That would be the Russian left flank. Probe left flank. And assault right flank. Let's assault right flank. What do you say? Feel good about this. Assaulting right flank. So a number equal to a number of cards in your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. Means 5 units. I don't know that I have. I only have 1, 2. I only have 2 units on the right flank, but we'll make the most of it, all right? You guys don't worry your little heads about that. 3 melee. Is this militia or grenadier? This is grenadiers. And Russian grenadiers, 1 die per block plus 1 die, so that 3 becomes a 4. 4 dice. What do we get? We got a hit and a flag. Flag can be ignored. The hit cannot. That 3 becomes a 2. French battle back. What do they get? They get 1 hit. So the grenadiers drop from a 3 strength to a 2 strength. That brings us over here. It's a militia unit, right? Who has a strength of 2, and they cannot hit on 6s. So they need 1s or 2s. They got a 6. Of course they did. French line on the battle back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Going uphill -1 is 4. What would they get? Any guesses? What just happened? 3 hits against this 2-strength Russian unit means the French now have another victory banner. That makes 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 victory banners, and the guy in the village makes 7. No, it's not. It does not. Because there's a Russian unit also in the village. Otherwise, the French would have just won. The gentleman in the background is my neighbor. He's a good guy. He means well. If he knew he was on camera, he would probably not be audible. He would opt out. All right. My cats know they have my number. Is the weather affecting you? What do you mean? Oh, the weather, like as in storms? We've had Hurricane Delta. I can't even keep track. Hurricane Delta was the latest storm. And that would also be for hurricane season storm number 7 that has missed us. It was headed for us, but went around us. 7 times this has happened this year. That's pretty good luck. You guys had tornadoes, flooding. It rained so hard it derailed a train. I didn't know that was possible. Well, that's terrible. Wow. Didn't know that was a thing. That sucks. Who was it? That was the Russians. Was it the Russians? Yeah. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Assault right flank is done. Back to the French. Who's easy pickings here? Well, this unit is its own strength of 2. I don't know that I have the fire strength to knock out the Cossacks there in the woods. Ooh, he has a strength of 1. Who do I have for center? Should I bet everything on 1 card? Should I do that? Scout center allows me to activate 1 unit. That unit's going to be this French light infantry unit who the game literally weighs on their shoulders strength of 3, which after modifiers for mailing into another part of the village, I'm going to roll 1 die, and if I get a 1, 2, or 6, I win. What do you think? I rolled a 4. Russians battle back. Minimum of 1 die, that's all they have. Rolled a flag, but I have support, so I can ignore that. So betting everything on 1 card didn't work out. I just felt lucky. To recap, the score is French 6, Russians 3. You need 7 victory banners to win. We have 2 Russian units on the Fritz, and if I can knock either or both of those out, that's game. Back to the Russians, unless the Russians pull something out of the hat. They have a probe center card, a scout center card. They still have that attack left flank and a probe left flank. Probe center. Let's probe center. One, 2. Probing center. Oh, we could. Let's do that like this. And probe center like this. Who are these guys? Are these guys militia? Yes. So let's fire with these guys. That's 4. This is a Grenadiers unit, 4 dice. Firing at this line unit here. 1 hit, so that 4 becomes a 3. No battle back on firing. And we will move this militia unit around to bring them up. And that's the Russian turn. This thing's almost over. I think the French have it. Speaking of the French, it is the French turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. So I don't have anything. First strike. No. I don't have anything that would allow me to try and knock out this weak 1 strength unit. I do have how realistic this is. Being adjacent, almost virtually in melee with a unit, and then firing further away at another unit. I guess I'll pass on that. Let's do this. Scout left flank. That'll allow me to fire with 3 dice on this unit here. That could be something, actually. And it's nothing. In fact, it's a flag that works to their advantage because it puts them... No, they're still within range. But that's all that did. For the French, back to the Russians. Dragging things out, holding on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Russians. There's a lot of stuff I can do on the left, but I don't have anything over there, really. I have 2 units on the left, that's it. And one's a Cossack unit I could care less about. Let's scout center as the Russians and fire. Again, 4 dice at this guy. Maybe we can whittle him down. There's a little whittling. 2 hits. That 3 becomes a 1. So yes, whittling is taking place. Back to the French. What do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 counterattack. Counterattack means, what did they have? Scout center. I can do the same thing. So I'm going to scout center, and I'm going to try that bet it all on one die again. What am I talking about? I'm talking about this light infantry unit in the village firing at an adjacent unit with a strength of 1. If I can get a 1, a 2, or a 6, and I got a 6, that's it. That's game. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Russians, you can go home now. You guys have been good sports. That's 7 victory banners. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for the French to 3 for the Russians. And again, it was the Russians who pulled out early in the lead with 2 victory banners to none. But the French, once they got rolling, they just kept going. Steamrolled. So that was, what was that? Borodino, 7th of September, 1812, Utitza. And I don't know if I changed history or not, but that's the game. So check on some of these comments again. And now I have to finish up the day. One of these days, maybe I get a chance to sit down and watch the whole battle. All right, see you, buddy. Russian artillery, what can they do? They can get ignored and not pulled up and not used. That's what happened. So I have this center, this part of the center, Russian center, basically did nothing. I have 2 units that didn't move, including the artillery unit, so that's my bad. Yeah, militia doesn't do you any good. So that's that. What do I have on tap? Potentially on tap. I'm looking to do something a little different. We're all going to get tired of the same thing over and over, even though I enjoy it. So I'm thinking about open fire. And before you get too excited or care less, what I plan on doing is adapting a kind of tabletop miniature style play on this. So the beautiful Callistra terrain can get used again. But a little bit of work involved in adapting that, and it's not going to play exactly, but I feel like I can get most of the rules and stuff to work. So that's potentially on tap. And that's really about it. So thank you guys for watching, and I will talk to you sooner than later. All right. Stay safe.